far as I know, Cambridge has three royal colleges, that is, King's, Trinity, and St. John's. Does this status make them special or feel special in any way?
I think being a royal college must have meant a great deal to these royal establishments for many centuries. Now, because there are many colleges and there are many other things, it's not quite so important. But as a Fellow of King's, one of the royal colleges, I do notice from time to time you find it, for instance, at Christmas. The Queen sometimes comes to the King's Carol service. When we have our founder's feast, we have a feast to celebrate when the college was founded by one of her ancestors. And so when we have that, she sends a message of congratulation to the college. And when we want to change our statutes, when we want to change the way in which our college is governed, we can't just do it ourselves. We have to go to the Queen's Privy Council, which is a part of Parliament, and it has to be approved by the absolute central part of the government. So it takes much longer to change things. Traditionally, of course, it also meant that the royal colleges, when England was divided between royalists and people who were opposed to the crown during the Civil War and so on, the royal colleges, I imagine, were much more loyal. But it gives a sense of security and privilege, and this is one of the very important features of the big, strong colleges in Oxford and Cambridge, because there are huge political, social and other pressures on free thought. And one of the reasons why freedom of thought has continued in England without an inquisition or censorship and so on is partly because of the wealth and independence of the Oxford and Cambridge university system. Because in most other parts of the world, if people started to think independently, you could easily be your economic fortune would decline and you might even be thrown in prison. There was much more autonomy and separateness for these colleges, partly because of their wealth and their statutes, also because many people from these colleges became, of course, famous lawyers and politicians and professionals of various kinds, and so they could look after the interests of the college and protect it, rather like the Inns of Court, the lawyers' training place in London. They could protect it against power when power was angry with what was going on in these places.